Hello, good afternoon. My name is Erica LaShawn, and thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time, thank you. If not, thank you. Today is July 16th, 2020. It's 1:53 p.m. As I stated, my name is Erica LaShawn, and welcome. We're here to talk about things. Please like it, share, and subscribe. So, this topic is on cruises. And I just wanted to talk about cruises. I've been on a cruise before. I love cruises. I plan to take more in the future. However, due to like COVID and stuff, I'm kind of reluctant to go out into the out of the country because I just don't want to go jump through hoops and stuff like that. One of my coworkers, she just came back from somewhere out of the country, and they almost didn't let her come back to the States, even with a negative test. I don't know what happened. Well, she told me what happened. I'm not going into it, but yeah, I don't feel like dealing with stuff like that. So yeah, I did go on a cruise once. I loved it. I say once because I don't count the first cruise, because the first cruise, sorry, there's a siren in the background. I live in Brooklyn. The windows are closed, so I'm trying. So just bear with me. But my very first time on a cruise ship was in high school. One second. My first cruise was in high school on our senior trip. So we went to a few different places, but one of them we did a quick stop in, I think, the Bahamas. I don't want to say Jamaica. I really want to say Bahamas. But it was a class of 93, and we went on a senior trip. And we had a ball. I had a ball. But the cruise part of it, the cruise part of it was not enjoyable because they were not prepared. Um, and it was like a quick stop or whatever. But if you can imagine a bunch of teens, we didn't have rooms because it wasn't that. It was like a little it was like a short um, journey. So we didn't have rooms. So I guess if you can imagine a bunch of teens laying around, taking naps and huddling up and stuff like that. That's what it was. I remember, I think it was raining or something. I don't know. The climate, it wasn't enjoyable, that that part of it, but the trip was fun. But anyway, as when I went as an adult, me and my girlfriend, we went to a few different spaces, a few different islands, and I had a ball because I think cruising it's like you get more bang for your buck. And it's like a one-stop shop. There are restaurants on the ship, clubs, um, casinos, different activities. The ship we were on, it was like a rock climbing wall, and they have the nice pool with the big slide, and it was really good. And we got the all inclusive package, which I recommend because it's all included. Everything is included. You can eat when you want, you can drink when you want, you can do whatever. The most important thing is just tip. So basically, you just there having a ball and with tip money, or whatever. Just tip the people. That's really what it is. But and then the captain's dinner. I really enjoyed that. One night, I think we did 6 nights. Um 6 nights, 7 days or something like that. But they will have a captain's night, excuse me, where you dress in formal attire and the captain comes down and has dinner with everybody. So it's pretty cool. You get all dressed up or whatever. But so the thing I found interesting is like a few years back, I learned that there are people that live on cruise ships. They actually retire and they like That's where they live. So they no longer have mortgages or, they're no longer in this type of a scenario that a lot of us are who pay mortgages or who pay rent or whatever. The cruise ship is their way of life. So they get to go around everywhere. And when you hear the numbers, it's kind of like, could I do something like this? I don't see myself doing anything like this, but I could see why a person would do something like this because it makes perfect sense, especially if you're retired, all your loose ends are tied up or whatever. You like to travel, and it's kind of like you live there. You have maids and room service, and you get to vacation throughout the year. So, so just starting off, the insider.com, it talks about a retired couple sold their home so they could permanently live on a cruise ship for like $43 a day. So you have to do the math and add it up and stuff, you know. But a Seattle couple decided to retire early so that they could live on cruise ships full time. Their names are Angeline and Richard Burke. They said it made financial sense and costs less than a mortgage. For $43 a day, the couple joined a growing community of people choosing to live on cruise ships. And then some cruise ships have the entertainment. No, all of them. Well, they have clubs, but I kind of wanted to go on the Tom Joyner cruise because they have like heavy hitters as entertainment on the cruise. major musicians and groups and singers and stuff. So that would be really cool. But anyway, Angeline, she's a former accountant. She calculated that for close to $43 a day, which covers the cost of all meals and drinks, they could make their cruise ships their permanent home. Quote, "We love to travel, and we were searching for a way to continuously travel in our retirement that made financial sense," unquote. She told the 7 o'clock news that. But so the couple set off on their first cruise in May of 2021 after selling their home. Since then, they say that on the rare occasion they sleep on land, they stay with friends or relatives between cruises. That has to be kind of awesome, though. When I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's like, wow. The couple set off on their first cruise in May, and they said Burke, the husband or the wife, one of them said, "I believe this achievable. I believe this is achievable for the everyday cruiser, but it does take effort," unquote. Burke said, adding that they plan their next cruise in advance. Sometimes when you go on a cruise, they will offer, like when you're on the cruise, they will offer to book while you're still on it, and the discount is amazing. So that's the incentive to book, to continue booking, because they will give you a great deal while you're on the cruise. So I guess some people, they will jump at the chance or whatever. But so back to this couple. The couple has visited Italy, Iceland, and Singapore since embarking on their new life at sea, and have been on a 51-day cruise from Seattle to Sydney. 51 days. Just chilling. Quote, "Our original plan was to stay in different countries for a month at a time and eventually retire to cruise ships as we got older." So they was planning already, but they go on to say, but living at sea seems to be a growing trend. So Christine Castellou, Kesteloo, is a former cruise director, told the Insider in April she lives on a cruise ship for half of the year after losing her job during the pandemic. Kesteloo now sells with her husband, a cruise ship chief engineer, as a quote, wife on board, unquote. She spends the other half of the year at their home in the Netherlands. So, one company that is looking to capitalize, on the trend is Storylines, a traditional community at sea, according to Insider's Abby Wallace. So there's a company that helps you do this. Now, Storylines is offering fully furnished homes aboard its new cruise ship starting at $500,000. The ship will feature a movie theater, 3 swimming pools, 20 restaurants, and a wellness center. See, so and I saw this on like Inside Edition or something like that. So this is not the first time I've heard of this concept, but so from what I'm looking at here, $500,000, it's that's the cost of a home, depending on where you live. Furnished homes. See, now I'm gonna have to go to storylines.com and check this out because I need to know. And I will do that as soon as I hit the off button on this phone. I want to see what that looks like, but what isn't on the ship isn't worth having. That came from Alistair Punton, Punton, the co-founder and CEO of Storylines. So the company is selling leasehold agreements for 12, 24, or 60 years and will begin its 1,000-day journey to 6 continents in 2024. I'm looking into that because I want to know. Moving on. So this is from the New York Post, and the headline is How These Diehard Cruise Ship Fans Live at Sea Full Time for Next to Nothing. Norwegian. They're mentioning here Norwegian cruise ship hits size of a semi truck iceberg near Alaska. I was not supposed to read that, so forget that. Anyway, so it's for people who have permanent sea legs. While the rest of us go on living our lives on land, a small segment of society is out at sea on vacation forever. I like when Cardi B said that one time. She was like, "You got beef with me? You got beef forever." I was trying to go there. It didn't come across. Quote, where else can you have your resort take you to different countries while relaxing by the pool or sleeping in a comfortable bed? Retired accountant Angelin Burke. Oh, so they still on the Burks. Okay. It's a different outlet, but it's still the Burks. Burke and her husband Richard, they plan to spend 86 days of the year on the high seas, bouncing between Holland, America, and Carnival cruises. A decision they made out of passion, but also due to budget. Quote, when planning out cruises, I try to stay on the same ship as long as possible, as long as it is cost effective, unquote. The wife said that, explaining that the couple crunched the numbers, and thanks to deep discounts from their frequent past cruise journeys, their cruise will only cost $89 a day for both of them. Well, within our retirement budget. So yeah, $89 for both of them, because this other outlet said 43. So that's what that is. But anyway, oh, there's a picture, and they're not old people. They are. Look at them. Costa Rica. They just all around, and they're not. They seem like they're in their mid to late 50s, kinda. I don't know. But anyway, assisted living is not a cheap proposition. It costs thousands and thousands of dollars a month, depending on where you're staying, unquote. That came from Colleen McDaniel, the editor-in-chief of the website Cruise Critic. She told CNN, quote, "So cruising is potentially a far more cost-effective way to live." So this person is saying it costs more. The other couple is saying something different. But anyway, as for many, it's certainly more exciting. One well-known long-term cruiser named Mama Lee Wachteter, Wachtetter, has become famous in cruising circles for spending years on the ship called Crystal Serenity, even writing a memoir about her experiences. So in the book, quote, "I may be homeless, but you should see my yacht," unquote. She shares stories of cruise life highlights, including dealing with a rogue wave and being kidnapped in Thailand. Girl. Another person, Mario Salcedo, Salcedo, also known as Super Mario in the cruising community, has been living and working aboard Royal Caribbean cruise ships for over 20 years. Super Mario, quote, "Super Mario has an office on the top," and office is in quotes as well, okay, on top deck of every ship he sails on, and Voom streaming, VOOM in all caps. I don't know what Voom is. Voom streaming internet service so that he can work from anywhere in the world, unquote. That came from Vice President of Royal Caribbean International Hotel Operations, Mark Tamis, Tamis. That person, that they told CNN that. But certainly sounds more fun than landlubber's ideal of retirement. I'm a landlubber. Quote, assisted living. Oh, sorry. The cruise I went on, oh my God. It was back in the day when Wendy Williams did a whole bunch of stuff aside from the talk show. We know about the radio stuff. But I'm a fan of Wendy Williams, and I've been in the audience a few times. It's a fun time. But aside from all that, she was doing a comedy circuit with different comedians, because I love stand-up comedy. So she got into that arena at one point. So I was kind of like going wherever she was to listen to the comics. And then one day she said, I'm having a cruise. Y'all come with me." It was called the Wendy Williams Bodylicious Cruise. So that's what me and my girlfriend went on. And Wendy was there. Her husband, they were on the cruise with us, and you could see them or whatever. So I went up and said hi. I took a picture. This was so long ago, smartphones weren't even available. So the picture I took, and I remember before I took the picture, she said, "Now you're not going to put this on your screensaver, are you?" I'm like, "No." Took the picture. Can't find it to this day. I don't even think I don't even think the picture took, I don't know. I may come across it one day. Anyway, so this and they had different activities. Okay, so they had different activities on the cruise that you could be a part of. So there was a pole, I want to say a pole dancing class, but it wasn't. It wasn't a pole dancing class. It was a class to teach you. They taught us like this routine. This sensual routine, and they taught us how to clap our butt cheeks together. You know what I'm talking about. So it was a whole class of like sexy, exotic dance movements and stuff like that. But and you know what? It's funny. Like, we had a good time or whatever, but it's one moment I could remember. Because, you can eat whenever you want. It's no limits. eat, drink, whatever. Just make sure you tip. You'll be fine. So me and my girlfriend, we were having, it had to be lunch. It wasn't dinner. I don't know. And a lot of Wendy fans were on the ship, of course. So I was thinking when I left the cruise. Okay, so we were sitting there we were eating, and it was a gang of girls. Like they all came together. And I was so embarrassed because we sitting there and it was like this beautiful spiral staircase coming down. So we at the bottom. These group of girls was coming down. They was hyped. They crunk. You know, it all went wrong for me when they got too crunk. And I'm trying to, watch my language and, be professional. But the group of girls was coming down the staircase saying, "Ian's in the house, Ian's in the house, Ian's in the house." You smart, put it together. Ian. I'm not going to say it. Ninja. Put it together. I wanted to crawl under the table. I was so embarrassed. The cruise is huge, so it wasn't just Wendy fans. Everybody going to cruise. So I'm looking like, oh my God. And they was crunk. They was arms in the air and Ian's in the house, Ian's in the house. And people, everybody, I was sitting there like, no. And I'm thinking like, see, Wendy made this trip way too cheap. They should have upped the hell, they probably would have came anyway, but anybody was on the boat. I'm like, come on, y'all. Y'all act like y'all ain't been nowhere. Who does that? Who does that? I want to cry. I wanted to turn myself inside out and hide. Anyway, so that's just one memory I will never forget. I just was like, oh my God. So this next, I don't know where this is from, but Adam Forgie, Forgie, posted this on May 9th, 2022. The National Desk, I think. But the headline is "Couples Live permanently on cruise ships because it's cheaper than housing." So same concept, but it just goes on about how people do this, and this is the same husband and wife. Gosh, everybody was talking to them. Good Lord. They talking to everybody. Quote, this is the Burks. Our regional plan was to say, okay, I read that. But I'm still on the Burks. Using their savings and the sale of their Seattle home, the Burks found a way to cruise, full time or half of the year during their retirement. Quote, "We have been frugal all our lives to save and invest in order to achieve our goal." That's what the wife said. We're still on the Burks. The pair quit their jobs, leaving their bills behind. So did they quit their jobs, leaving their bills behind, or did they retire? Because this other thing said they retired. Anyway, the wife says, "We don't plan to permanently live on land in the future." So the couple says they can count on one hand how many times they have slept on land in the past year. Hopping from ship to ship takes a lot of planning, and when the ship schedules don't always match up, they stay on land. Jumping down, it says they began their retirement life by going on so I don't know if they retired or they quit, whatever. It's all in the past. They began their retirement life by going on a 50-day cruise. Said all that. In Europe, they hope to go to every corner of the globe. This cannot be about the Burks, or it can be. How much does it cost to live on a cruise ship year round? This included. So I'm moving on. from the Berks. So someone on the internet was saying, how much would it cost to live on a cruise ship year round? So the answer was, this includes the ticket price and onboard spending for food, entertainment, and miscellaneous purchases. Based on that number, the average cost of living aboard a cruise ship year round would total a little more than 77,000 for retirees taking a nomadic approach. So that was answered in May of 2022. So there are different options for retirement cruisers. You may aim to spend your entire time sailing on one ship, or you could move around. Some cruise lines offer cabins for sale, allowing you to own your own place at sea. Other ships accommodate extended trips, such as 180 days or more. So it's I don't see, I don't know. I think it's a good idea if you like to travel and you like one of those type of people, whatever. But the next question: how much would it cost to live on a cruise ship for 1 month? Between 2,000 and 4,000 per month. How much does it cost to live on a cruise ship? Okay, I just said that. So this outlet, the U.S. News, it explains how to do it. If you're wondering, if you enjoyed cruises during your vacation time, it may be appealing to think about moving on board permanently in retirement. Cruising has become increasingly accessible during the last decade and continues to provide a somewhat leisurely mode to explore the world. While the idea of setting sail and enjoying a plethora of amenities can be attractive, there are logistics to consider before signing up for long-term cruising. And we will get into the pros and cons in a second. But so if you want to investigate doing your retirement on a cruise ship, you'll want to understand what's involved with the lifestyle, look at your finances and set a budget, review options for the services you need, consider how your social life will be impacted, outline your priorities, and talk to family. So like the Burks, they said if things don't really line up the way that they want, they can crash with family, or stay somewhere or whatever. So you got to look into that because everybody may not be able to take you in. I don't know. Talk to your family, talk to your friends. So how to do it? Living as a retiree at sea isn't as simple as purchasing a ticket and stepping on board. There are many different routes, trip lengths, price points, and ship sizes to consider. If you've never been on a cruise before, you might try out several to see if you enjoy the rhythm and are comfortable at sea. Yeah, because if you can't do it, it makes no sense. When I went, I was fine. I got seasickness. Seasickness. I didn't really get seasick, but it crept up on me at the captain's dinner. So while we were at the formal dinner, the captain's dinner, it's formal. So you sitting there, it's like a fancy restaurant or whatever. But oh my God, I could feel the movement of the boat. I could feel the motion of the ocean. And that's when people get seasick. So I didn't vomit or anything, but I was just sitting there like, ugh. That's what it feels like. It's like, I don't know if my equilibrium was acting up because of the motion or whatever, but it feels make you feel kind of queasy. So after we left there, there's an infirmary on the ship if you need medical attention. So when we got to the infirmary, I guess it was closed. I can't remember what time it was, but in the little reception area with the couple chairs and a table, they had a big basket of oh God, the name escapes me. It's a over the Dramamine. It's over the counter. You can get it over the counter. So they had a big thing of Dramamine, like peppermints. It's just sitting on the table. So I got a couple. I can't remember if I took any. But in the event that you get motion sickness, they have stuff on board to help you get through that. And this one story I saw on the news. This couple went on a cruise. The mother was pregnant, and she went into labor on the cruise. I wouldn't have went. I'm gonna just tell you, I don't know. I wouldn't. Well, you know what? I forgot how far along she was. So maybe in her mind she was thinking like, I'm good. But nah, anything can happen, and you out there like that. Just let me stay at home, and I'll go after the birth. But or maybe she didn't intend to get pregnant. Maybe it was already booked, and they was like, okay, fine. Talk to your doctor. Your doctor said, oh, you could go. Something happened. She went into premature labor on the cruise ship. So, and they had the pictures to prove it. So her husband or her partner or whoever, they were with this premature baby, and the mother made a homemade incubator. They got the pictures to prove it. I don't know if it was a girl or a boy, whatever. And maybe she didn't do it by herself. I'm sure the staff was helping or whatever. But they made they had to keep that baby warm. So they took like surgical gloves and different things made of latex, and they filled them with hot water. And they used towels and stuff like that. So they made the environment for the baby. They kind of surrounded the baby in the warm water. The warm, they made water balloons out of the gloves, out of the latex or whatever. So they made these warm water balloon things and kept that baby warm until they could, I think they made an emergency stop. This was years ago. They didn't continue to cruise like that, but this was so long ago. But so yeah, they kept the baby really, really warm until they could get off and seek medical attention. But anyway, all right. So back to this. Consider how your social life will be impacted. How to do it. That's where I left off. So living is okay. I said it's not as simple as just purchasing a ticket or stepping on board. There's different things to consider. The rhythm of the sea. Oh, find out if you're comfortable at sea. All right. For those who have only gone on short-term cruises, such as weekend getaways or week-long trips, it might be beneficial to try out a 3-month cruise to see if an extended trip is still enjoyable. That's something to think about, because when I go on vacation, I like to stay. It depends on where I'm going. But if it's somewhere I'm going that I've never been before, and I'm also the type of traveler that wherever I go, I need something to do when I get there. I can't just go and be sitting around looking at people like, oh, that's nice. It has to be some sort of event or a festival or something there. But you know what? I went to Miami with no events, and I had a blast. I love Miami, South Beach. So I don't know. I tend to lean towards trips where there's something going on. So like in real life right now, I'm planning to go, and I'm going to say it out loud and put it in the universe. I want to go to Paris, France in 2024. So that's a goal that I'm setting for myself. I've already opened up a vacation club account with my credit union, so I can, be for real in my mind, be for real in reality, and start saving. And the reason why I want to go, because I always wanted to go to Paris anyway, but in 2024, the summer games are going to be in Paris, France, the Olympic Summer Games. And breakdancing is an official category in 2024. I love hip hop. I love hip hop, R&B, pop. I love music. So when I saw on the news that breakdancing is an official category in the Olympics, I was like, okay, here we go. Here we go. I already wanted to go. Now I have something to do when I get there. So that's the type of traveling I do, and I like to do. And there's a website called mybucketlistevents.com, and that's who they're gonna guide me through this journey. And they help you do this website, hence the name, My Bucket List. All the things you've ever wanted to do, and they have different categories. It's like things that you wouldn't believe that you would do. They help facilitate running with the bulls. I wouldn't do that. I think you're crazy. But if that's on your bucket list, then hey, have at it. Go ahead and get gouged if you want to. But I've seen it on TV before. People come from all over. It's a whole big festival, a celebration, and they let them bulls out the gate. And if you want to, you could watch, or you could run with them. And you're not running with them, you running from them. So from what the footage I saw, people just, I didn't see any women. Now I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't see any women, and I'm not sure if the participants were locals or were they just random. Anybody could run with the bulls, whatever. All I saw was a bunch of legs running, and them bulls, they horns, everything. They were chasing them. So, and then the spectators are cheering and rooting them on and stuff like that. So mybucketlist.com, they help you do stuff like that. The Kentucky Derby. And I want to go. I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. That just jumped in my mind because I just decided I want to go. I just watched the latest Kentucky Derby. I watched it from beginning to end. Enjoyed it. And the underdog won. Rich Strike. Rich Strike was 0-81. Underdog. Nobody was talking about Rich Strike. That's the horse. And Rich Strike won the Kentucky Derby. And I was into it. And then I was talking to my mother, and I was telling her that, and she said, well, Mama Evelyn used to go to the Kentucky Derby. That's my grandmother's sister. So she's my great aunt. I think of her as a grandma because my grandparents, they all died before I was able to have a firm relationship. Big Mama, my mother's mother, I remember Big Mama, but and I was around her. She lived in Chicago, so, but that was to the point she was getting older, health was declining, and she didn't talk. She didn't talk at all. So I've never had a real conversation that I remember. I'm gonna have to ask my mother, like, some questions or whatever. But so yeah, she, they would say, Erica, go in there and see if Big Mama done in the bathroom. So I remember an instance where I knocked on the door and I went in the bathroom and she was sitting on the toilet, and I was like, Big Mama, you finished? I can't remember. That's all I remember. So that was my grandmother. My grandfather, on my father's side, I remember, and I'm going to Alabama soon because my family has an annual birthday celebration for my grandfather. But I remember he came over a long time ago. We were in the first house. My parents were still married at that time. And we ate upstairs. We had two kitchens, one upstairs and one downstairs. The downstairs was finished, a finished basement. So we had everything we needed in the basement. We spent a lot of our time down there. But upstairs there was a kitchen that we never used, fully functioning kitchen that we just didn't use it. My mother washed my hair in that sink. But for the most part, we were downstairs with everything we needed. Bathroom, pantry, toys, kitchen, TV area. My father created a bar. we had parties down there. So that's a whole different story. But anyway, so when my grandfather came to visit, we had to eat upstairs. So I remember because my grandfather, they didn't want to chance the him going down the stairs or whatever. So that's the only memory I have where we were having breakfast in the kitchen upstairs, and when he chewed, his teeth made a tapping sound, and I was having breakfast with him and just looking at him, and we were just sitting there. I think I had some farina. I love farina. And some scrambled eggs, maybe some sausage or something like that, some toast. That was like my go-to. Um, and I remember just sitting across the table from him, and as he chewed, I could hear tap, 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 tap. I could hear a tapping sound as he chewed. So those are the only memories that I have of like grandparents. That's it. So some people can say, some people grow up with their grandparents and they be like, grandma, and some grandparents raised them, So it's like, so I didn't really get that experience. But Mama Evelyn, back to Mama Evelyn and the Kentucky Derby. Sorry. So my mother was like, well, Mama Evelyn used to go to the Kentucky Derby with her girlfriends. I'm like, really? Didn't know that. I look up to my Mama Evelyn. Because she was successful by our standards, because she had a restaurant, she had I think she had a Cadillac, she had her own home, fur coats and all that stuff. So in my eyes, Mama Evelyn was, and we spent a lot of Thanksgiving dinners at Mama Evelyn's in Chicago. Oh, the Kentucky. Oh, mybucketlist.com. So they help you do stuff like that. So I want to go to the Kentucky Derby. I want a fancy hat. I want to go for the fashion. I want me a fancy hat. I want the energy, the excitement. And I'm not a gambler, but I will gamble when I go to the Kentucky Derby. So I'm gonna have to do research on the odds of who's who and what's what and what. But anyway, it's a deal. And this past Kentucky Derby, I was looking at the New York Post. I read the paper online at work. Everybody was there. I'm like, this is hot. Like that's a thing. That's a thing. So I'm gonna have to swing by the Kentucky Derby. But anyway, so yeah, back to running with the bulls and stuff like that. Mybucketlist.com. They help you do stuff that you can't do it. I guess you can do it by yourself, but they make it easy for you with transportation, accommodations, tickets, things of that nature. Ooh, I just remembered, because I got this idea last year about going to Paris for the Olympics, for the Summer Games. And when I was on the phone with them, I said, well, I explained it. I said, I'm coming because breakdancing. I've got to see this with my own two eyes. Like I said before, I love hip hop, grew up on hip hop, still listen to hip hop, not this new stuff. I ain't with that. I'm that's for the young people. But I'm a, fan of it. And breakdancing, the movie Breaking. What's that other one? Breaking and Beat Street, stuff like that. That's a part of my culture. So I just love it. I love it. And so much so that every year, like in elementary school, so I had to be like in the 5th grade or the 4th grade, whatever. In elementary school, every so often, maybe once a month, a couple months go by, whatever, a couple times during the school year, Scholastic magazine, or it's some company, and we've all done this, I'm sure, maybe not, but your teacher will pass out the little pamphlet for books. So that was my parents never said no when I brought that paper home to fill out for books. They may have told me, Erica, my mother would say, my money is funny if I ask for something, or if I want something, not need something, because I had everything I need. We had everything that we needed. There's a difference between a want and a need. So if I would be like, oh, I want this, I want that, I would hear, my money is funny. And I was an understanding kid. I'm like, okay, our parents talk to us, so I'm like, all right. Or wait, maybe Christmas, maybe your birthday. So there was never um, some people have a, some people are used to instant gratification, like a baby. A baby needs instant gratification because they're babies. So as far as the psychology of it all, you have the id, the ego, and the super ego. Babies operate off the id. Your basic needs need to be met. I'm hungry, I'm gonna cry. I'm scared, I'm gonna cry. I'm sick, I'm gonna cry. Your basic needs, that's functioning from the id part of your brain. So I'm glad my parents didn't always satisfy or give me instant gratification, because you grow up like that and you be wanting it now. I want it now. No, sit down. Not now. Not now. You can wait. And you got everything you need. You know what I'm saying? So, I forgot where I was going with that one. Oh, Mama Evelyn, grandparents, parents. Oh, so I knew I could always get books. My parents were really into education. Education was like paramount in our home. My parents were very big on school education and, just being respectful and things of that, and being a good person and stuff like that. So I could check off anything and I'll tally it up. They have to check the box. I'll tally it up, give them the paper. They will give me the money after I tallied it up. And they never denied books. That was big to them. They like, read, please, read. So one year, I can't remember what grade I was in. They it was a breakdancing book along with all the other books. It was it had the breakdancing book, and I'm sure the breakdancing book was page to page with the different steps in how to do it. The windmill, pop locking, whatever that stuff is called. And it was in full color. I love that book. It was a glossy finish. And whoever made that book, they were taking the pictures. There were still shots of each move, and you could learn how to do the move. It was like a really cool book. And then at the bottom, it was describing it and how to do it and stuff like that. So I checked that breakdancing book off. My order came in, because when the order come in, the teacher, give out the orders to the students or whatever. So I'm at home in the basement, plenty of room down there. That's what we did a lot down there, played a lot, everything. So I'm in the basement doing a windmill. I could do it. That's the one thing I could do, was the windmill. Not good, but I was doing it in the basement. And so yeah, love breakdancing. All right, so anyway, so back to Paris. I'm excited, and that's something that I want to see it with my own two eyes. But the COVID stuff, I'm scared to go out of the country. So nope, I'm not gonna do that. Nope, not gonna do that. Plus, London is 2 hours away by train. So I'm gonna try to do a 2-in-1 deal, because I'm not going. I'm gonna try to do 6 nights, and shoot to London and spend the day in London, and then come on back. So I'm still working it out in my mind, because once I go all the way there, I doubt if I'm going back. So I might as well do it all while I'm there. But anyway, so back to how to do it. Yeah, see if this is right for you. I left off on, take a getaway or a week long, just to see if you can do something like that. So I don't know. I might feel trapped. See, I don't know. I may feel trapped when I get on there. After like 30 days. Oh no, I don't know. after 20 days. I might freak out. Good gosh. Anyway, so it says, see if it's right for you. So you might aim to spend your entire time sailing on one ship, or you can move around. Said that they just be okay. This is the same thing anyway. All right, so moving forward, you'll want to think about long-term options, such as what you'll do if you go cruising for a year and want to settle somewhere else. I don't know. Just basically, there's like just see, may not be for you. So some of the costs. As stated before, the amount you spend on cruising will depend on where you want to travel and the amenities that you want. So rates are negotiated based on duration, cabin type, and past passenger status. Says Annie Scrivenich, Scrivanch, the Senior Vice President of Cruise Specialists, which is headquartered in Seattle. Something just jumped out when it said past passenger status. So somebody watching, because if you don't, I don't know, you might be on a list somewhere if you done did something. And they like, nope. Because 5 years ago, you pushed somebody off and we had to stop the boat and go get them and all that stuff. I don't know. Whatever past passenger status means. Don't know. The average amount each passenger spends on a cruise is $214.25 per day, which includes the price of the ticket and the spending while on board, according to data from Cruise Market Watch. If you stay for a longer time on a ship, you might be able to get a discounted rate. You can also call the cruise line or work with a travel site to ask about services for long-term guests, such as arranging for family and friends to join you occasionally or allowing you to go home for a special event and then rejoin the ship. I have a thing of pros and cons, but this goes into pros and cons. So we'll just keep going. So, pros and cons of retirement on a cruise ship. If you love to see new places, cruising provides an opportunity to see the world, especially areas where you may not otherwise venture. Let's get to it. What's the pros? I guess that's the pros. That's a pro. It's only one in one. So a pro is there are around the world cruises that last months and can take you to Asia, Europe, South America, and all points in between. So finding the right, speak to a financial advisor so they can help you. And you may develop new and unique relationships on board. Over time, you will likely become familiar with the ship's crew and may feel a sense of belonging. Due to your extended presence, quote, you'll receive extra care and attention while on board. Another quote, you will be able to enjoy resort-style living surrounded by fellow travelers with similar interests, unquote. So that's a pro. A con, they go into staying close to family and friends. Staying close to family and watching grandchildren grow could be difficult when you're at sea for months or years at a time. You may also grow weary of the frequent stops that cruise ships make, along with your lack of control over the time spent at ports. For instance, you may want to tour a city for a full week, but the ship might not stop for 2 days. Within unlimited food and drink available, it could be hard to maintain a goal weight. So that's a con, and you should be in good health. I don't know. So let's just get to the pros, and I'm going to this other packet with the pros and cons. I'm not going through. Let's get to pros, because that one only gave one of each. So all right. So pros. You can see several destinations easily, and that's why I like cruises because like I said, it's a one-stop shop. So you're on one ship and you can hit like multiple islands, or multiple places and get back on and continue on, and be careful because they will leave you. They will definitely leave you. So you gotta be, when they say come back by this time, because we heading out, they will leave you. Period. So anyway, so pros. You can see several destinations. Okay, that's a pro. You only have to unpack once. Yeah. Seemingly unlimited food and sometimes drinks. So the word seemingly. So now I want to we're at 55:54. I think I might do my hour today. For the first time, seemingly unlimited food and sometimes drinks. So while every cruise line and even various ships are different, one thing you can almost count on is a lot of food and drinks on a cruise. In addition to the main dining room, you'll typically find a couple of casual options, such as a buffet or maybe a pizza shop at no additional cost. But why does it say seemingly? You'll also generally have 2 or 3 specialty restaurants at a small charge. What do that mean, seemingly? Regardless of whether it is included or costs extra, you are not likely to go hungry on a cruise. Additionally, you can usually get food just about any time of the day or night. And yes, the food is typically very good. When it comes to drinks, you usually find a bar around just about every corner. Okay, we know that. It says seemingly. It is that. Another pro, numerous onboard activities for cruises of all ages. Yep, kids. The number of onboard options definitely depend on the size of the ship. That said, even the smaller ships will do everything to keep you entertained, especially on days at sea. All right, larger ships have activities. We know that: rock climbing, mini golf, Broadway style shows. Yeah, okay. All right, we know that. Another pro, easier to manage the details of a trip. Planning a trip can be overwhelming, especially a trip with several stops. That gets significantly easier on a cruise. All you have to do is book the vacation and just get on the ship and enjoy. Cons. Lots of people in one place. One of the biggest complaints about cruising is just the sheer number of people in one place. Of course, when you're on a ship, everyone is stuck there. And that's what I was saying. Like, I don't know if I could do like a long term, because I might feel trapped. I don't know. And while there are some larger ships, it's still a lot of people in one relatively small space. It is. It really is. Anyway. Even when you get off the ship, most everyone else will be getting off the ship too. There might be a couple of other other ships in port with you. Thus, on the land, it may be difficult to avoid the crowds. All right, moving on. Food can get repetitive. Hold on. One of the best parts of a cruise is unlimited free food. Unfortunately, that food can get repetitive on a long cruise. That's why specialty restaurants are so popular now. Okay, moving on. It could get repetitive, though. But what if it's good, though? It may be good. I don't know. The food is good, but I guess if you're on board for 180 days or doing one of those things, it could drive you crazy. But anyway, we're on cons. Okay, sorry, flipping. That's the only con. Final thoughts. That's the only. Oh, it's a final pro. Oh, my papers are another con. Destinations are often overly touristy. Let's be honest, most cities with a cruise port make the vast majority of their money off of tourists. They do that by offering adventure activities and shopping and stuff like that. Oh, destinations are often overly touristy. Okay, that could be a con. Yeah. Less flexibility with your itinerary. So, when booking your cruise, think about the itinerary carefully because you won't have any control over it later. For instance, if you go to St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands, you really don't need to return. That's a bad joke. It is a popular stop on many Caribbean cruises. Whatever. My papers are all in disarray. They have a final pro and a final. A final pro is most cruises have something for everyone. If you're not sure you'll enjoy cruising, give it a try. Find out for yourself. You can start with a short or inexpensive 3 or 4 night cruise and see what you like. There was a final con somewhere, but here in New York, they have the cruise to nowhere. Other places do too. I looked into it, but I think that's a cool idea. What is that final con? It's a cruise to nowhere, so you just kind of go around. I think it's the Hudson River, and you can do like two nights, 3 nights, chilling. Final thoughts on pros and cons of cruising. Just like any other type of travel, cruising has its pros and cons. I'm sure everyone can find something that they love and something that they hate. Don't let someone else's thoughts influence you if you've never been on a cruise. In fact, if you need to take at least 2 cruises before you really decide if this is for you or not. Every cruise is different. All right. 1 hour. I made it. So I'm gonna this is from, what is this? I don't know where this is from. And this is 60andme.com. Living on a cruise ship, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We just went through pros and cons. The good side is you can age gracefully. Relax. I'm not gonna reinvent the wheel. You can make new friends, meet new people, go to thrilling places, see thrilling things. The bad side of sea life. One of the most obvious downsides to living at sea is that it's super expensive. See, that's contradicting of the, I don't know. It depends on who you are and whatever. They're not just talking about the cost of the room. The medical care, tips, premium restaurants, and excursions can also it can put a dent in your bank account. Well, the Burks don't think so. That's the bad. Now the ugly. Let's stay with the bad for a second. Another downside to life at sea is that you have to downsize considerably just to fit into your new home. Even if you spend hundreds of dollars a day to rent a room on a cruise ship, you'll probably it'll probably be a studio or 1-room cabin with limited space for your possessions. All right, the ugly. One more for the bad. Finally, there is a chance that after months at sea, the entertainment options that were so enticing in the first weeks of your voyage will become somewhat stale. After all, even the funniest jokes lose their edge the second or third time around you hear them. I know. That's one thing that I didn't think about. Just like the, you can only see Smokey Robinson so many times. You know what I'm saying? A Shaka Khan or somebody like that. It's like, okay, all right. Especially if you're on there for a month or whatever band they got or whatever. It's kind of like, all right, the ugly. Perhaps the biggest downside to living on a cruise ship as an older adult is the lack of specialized medical care. Cruise ships may be a lot of things, but floating hospitals, they are not. They're not. I told you, I went to the infirmary. They was closed. They had the Dramamine on there out there, but what will happen if you really need medical attention, like extended medical attention? Okay, the ugly. Oh, we on the ugly. Okay. So if you're in relatively good health, the risks may be acceptable. That said, the ideal of living on a cruise ship is an alternative to nursing care is unrealistic at best and dangerous at worst. So, speaking of potential medical issues, excuse me, speaking of potential medical issues, cruise ships have a reputation for spreading illnesses. Ah, forgot about that. Ooh, especially now. Mm-mm. No, and now the monkeypox is on the rise. Okay. Oh my God. Mm-mm. Well, the ideal of living on a cruise ship is it's not an alternative. Is if you think it is, it's unrealistic and it's dangerous. So back to illnesses. For the most of the time, no norovirus, the most common cause of illness on a cruise ship, is only a minor annoyance. That said, other adults tend to be more severely impacted by this illness. So if your health is already weak, you may want to think twice about living on a cruise ship. Yeah. Oh. All right. So I'm closing out. At the end of the day, living on a cruise ship isn't for everyone. That said, if you are in relatively good health, have significant financial resources, and think of yourself as a bit of an adventure, life on the open sea may be a perfect option. Bon voyage. Anyway, so that's about it. So it's a thought. It was just a thought. I saw it on this is not new. This concept is not new. I've heard of it before, and people are doing it. Not for me. I already know. It's not for me. But anyway, we're at 1 hour. Yay. 1 hour, 8 minutes, 44 seconds. Once again, my name is Erica LaShawn. Thanks for stopping by. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get that down. See you next time. Bye.